Hey friend, Tasha here, and today we're going to have a real, honest conversation about why we are all so freaking pushy all the time. And this topic of conversation came up. I was in a coaching call and someone said, well, I just don't want to be pushy in this situation. I said, well, tell me what you would say. And so she said, whatever that. And she said, I just need to get through the mindset that I'm not a pushy person. She said the words. And I smiled at her and laughed and was like, actually, it's kind of pushy. And she laughed. And I said, well, let's talk about this for a minute. When I was in college, I studied cognitive science, which is the biology of psychology. It was one of my minors. And I took a few classes on language development. And I thought it was a really interesting topic. And what it did is it explained this interesting phenomenon on why I can understand everything my parents say, but I can't recall and I can't speak Hindi. And if I try to go watch a movie, because it's all in the different dialects, if it's not words that my parents said, I don't actually understand any of the Hindi. And what happens is that language forms in our brain like up to age 5. And so if you're not a native speaker, you can't say certain things. Like if you're not a native Hindi speaker, you can't even say the word Hindi properly. But because I heard it so much, I can say that that sound. Where if you learned it later in life, you wouldn't be able to say that. So a lot of our language, it's formed when we're under the age of 5. And so then what happens is we internalize the language, and that's how we start speaking. And so now here we are, we're adults. And our language patterns were formed, though, by what I will call pushy people. Our parents and teachers. Now, of course, this is not a slam against parents, teachers, coaches, etc. We need to talk about this because this is why we are pushy now in our sales businesses. So what happened when we were younger is our parents were like, you should blank, you should blank, you should blank. If we had a problem, they weren't like, tell me more about that. They would say, oh, you have a problem? Well, that's not that big of a problem. You should just blank. Our teachers were like, do this, do that. This is what you need to do. I want you just for a minute to imagine the amount of times our parents, teachers, or coaches when we were young said, you should blank. So that's what we took as input. And then now here we are as adults, we are communicating. And now what we do is we say things like, oh, you're not feeling well? You should take this essential oil. Or you want to lose weight? You should take these supplements. And people resist. And then we feel pushy. But we're like, we need to go through our mindset training so I don't feel pushy anymore. But the truth is you kind of are. You kind of are pushy. And I do the same thing too. And it is actually, we need to learn a different way of talking to people. We have to if we want to stop being pushy, we have to deprogram. I don't know if that's even a word. We need to take all of that out. We actually need to retrain the way we speak to people. I was chatting with one of our previous clients, Emma, and I'd ask a question about like, why do you keep buying courses and workshops from us? And she made a comment about a questioning technique that I taught her like 6 years ago. And she said, this has helped me not just with my business so much, but this has helped me so much with my family. And this reminds me of one of my clients, Jessica said, you need to write outlines for life. And the reason she said that is because the type of communication that we would use to be good at sales is not more push. It's actually opposite. We want to have agendas. We want to gain agreement. We want to have a choice of 2. We want to say things like, tell me more, and let me make sure I understand. These are, yes, they are sales skills, but they're actually communication skills that then help us to come to a win-win situation in a sales situation. And we want to be able to communicate in this way all the time. My mom is awesome. She is great. She is also my mom. And because she is my mom, when I say something like blah, 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 she jumps in with, well, it's just my opinion, but you should blah, 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 blah. And as soon as I hear that word should, I'm out. I don't want to engage in it at all. And I think that is how a lot of us communicate. What if instead we ask a question like, tell me more. What have you already tried? If we don't change our communication style fundamentally towards agendas, here's how this would look at work. At work or in our businesses, it would look like, usually what I do is set up a time to go over your health goals, a little about the company, and the most popular kits. My part will take about 30 minutes. You don't have to get anything, but if you see something you like, I'll help you order it. Is that something you'd be open to? Here's what this looks like maybe with my kids. Haley, I have some time open in my day to take you to the park. I know you need help with your basketball. I can work on you with either dribbling or your shooting footwork. I was thinking we would go for about 30 minutes. Is that something that you would find helpful? It's the same thing. Now, or I could say, Haley, I'm ready. Want to go? Let's go to the park. You should practice. That's pushy. And so we have to fundamentally change our the way we communicate. Gaining agreement at work looks like if we had a conversation about how this coaching program could help you meet your business goals, would that be helpful? At home, this might look like, if I helped you with your algebra homework, would that be helpful? And we actually wait for our 13-year-old to say yes or no, that would be helpful. Then we would stop being pushy. And all of our communication would, all of our relationships would improve. Our relationships in our business would improve. We would make more sales. We would recruit more business builders. We'd retain more customers. If we were over here in our life, our relationship with our children, our spouses, our parents, our friends, they would all improve as well. And so what we need to come to the realization of is that we are all sort of pushy. It's all the mindset training in the world is not going to change the fact that we might be a little bit pushy. And so instead of being hard on us for that, right? I think a lot of our clients, what they'll do is they'll say, well, I'm just pushy and I'm just getting in my own way and I'm just self-sabotaging and I'm doing this. And you know why they're saying that? It's because all the mindset coaches are like, you're the problem. And I hate this because the mindset coaches, we're paying them thousands of dollars for them to tell you, you are the problem. They literally did nothing to help you solve your problem, yet they're making all this money. That is really, really frustrating. It's much better to say, tell me what you would say, and let's find something that feels less pushy. If we want to be less pushy, we need to gain agreement. If we talked about this thing, would that be helpful? We need to give choices. Would you want to do this, or would you want to do this instead of you should do this? We need to gain input. Tell me more about what's important to you about this thing. Let me make sure I understand. We have to change the way we communicate if we want to stop being pushy. Now, what I'm teaching you today, I know if you're still watching this, you're like, oh, this makes a lot of sense. Well, now what? And the answer is not to be less of something. The answer is to sharpen your saw. So if you try to do, okay, well, maybe less pushy, you'll end up being passive. And that's not helpful. What we need to do instead is we need to increase skills. We need to, what I'm about to tell you is going to be hard and challenging, but it's going to be worth it because then you'll be able to feel better about the way you communicate in your business. You'll have better relationships. You will know you are not pushy anymore. And the answer is to start to work on the communication skills. Of course, this is what I do. This is our business, is to help network marketers with their communication skills. And that's how we give them hope, confidence, and skills because, right, we have hope when we're getting positive interactions with people. We have confidence when we're having positive interactions with people. And when our skills are strong, right, we make more money. And all of that is good. And we want to make sure that we continue to work on that, but it's going to take a little bit of effort. And so there are some of you that are like, I don't know, I just want a cheat sheet. Just give me the scripts, Tasha. Just give me the cheat sheet. I mean, we can give you the cheat sheet. It's not what you really, it's not going to get you where you really want. I want you to really, if this video resonates with you, really think about, is this true, and how can we learn the communication skills that will take us far in our business? And if you guys want to talk about that more, let us know. We're happy to help. I hope that this conversation about why are we actually so pushy lit off some light bulbs for you. And I hope it was encouraging to you. Know that you're not alone. And I hope it was encouraging you to know there's also a way out. So if there's any way that we can be a part of that journey for you, please let us know. And we can hook you up with workshops or online courses or masterminds to support you in that journey. All right. Have a great day. Bye.